Hello, Delulu friends. It has been 10 days of 30 days of Delulu, so I thought I would check in with a little update. Actually, by the time you're watching this, it might be 12 days in. Yes, I switched up my hair. The lighting makes it look really red, although I did just dye it, so it is this red. It's crazy. And I got bangs, like old school LT from the TV days. All right, So I wanted to do a little update. If you've been following along 30 days of Delulu, you know what's going on. If you don't, I'll quickly tell you. I am posting all month long of October as if my manifestations, dreams, and desires are already my reality. Because when you're trying to manifest a different reality than exists in the here and now, it's energetic. I'm using social media as that energetic sort of magnetizing tool to amplify my dreams and desires and acting as those. So not wishing, hoping, being desperate, but living in the new reality in your mind. Visualization, imagining the details, the sights, the smells, the sounds of what you want. I would also just like to mention that the idea behind that is can still come up with resistance because you're still wishing, hoping, and like remembering that, oh, this isn't my actual reality right now. No. Be Delulu. You really got to brainwash yourself into thinking it's real. So any little things you can do to get in the mode of that reality, you gotta feel good. You have to feel happy. You think you're gonna be happy by having these things. You gotta get happy now. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what's been going on and the resistance primarily because I too, of course, am coming up against resistance. This is normal. I know I was going to do a Q&A and I'm still going to do that maybe in another 5 days. The resistance is real. And so I will say from the moment I thought of this idea, I've already been like feeling in a new vibration and then posting my posts, which you can go see the last number of days, my manifestations. Again, they look real because they're supposed to be as though they've already occurred. So if people don't know what's going on, they're very confused. But it seems like most of y'all out there know what's up and you're commenting because you know what's going on. So I've been feeling very good and definitely not in the down and dark the way I was previous to doing this. I was very anxious, very stressed about money, stressed about work opportunities, all kinds of things. My future here in LA, blah, 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 blah. I was like kind of on the verge of panic for about a week or two and just fighting with myself. So this definitely put me in a better flow, but after about 8-9 days, I started to come up against what is like the negative thinking. So even though I was posting these things and it was making me feel good and getting in the mode, I guess the ego or whatever part of the brain that does this likes to come in and start chirping away and saying, oh, but you can't do that, or that's too much to ask for, or you'll never do that, or now you actually have to do the work. Now you actually have to work hard if you want to get that house. Oh, how are you actually going to pull that off? You have no money. Oh, when are you going to find the time to go roller skating? It's just like trying to break you down. So just fully telling you what's going on. I'm sure it's happening to some of you, if not all of you. This is a real thing and it's fine. It's like it's more about what we're going to do about it and how are we going to handle it. Now, I'm not even pretending to be an expert here because I really don't know. I'm in the thick of it now, trying to figure out how do I combat that voice. And I will say that this voice has become stronger in the last few years. It used to kind of be non-existent. I used to think I could do anything and I was very Delulu and nothing was going to stop me. At least I don't remember that voice being as loud as it is now. And so I think, we get older, we get more resistant, we get more tuned to reality. Reality's not real. Be Delulu. Being Delulu is the Solulu. You pay attention to what's now hang on. I'm just gonna catch myself before I go any further. I have conflicting thoughts about all of this stuff. That is why I feel like my manifestation lifestyle or way of being has become stickier and harder and more unclear to me sometimes. When I get in the mode, it all seems free, clear, and easy. And now what happens is this immense wave of guilt washes over me and it starts to say things like, who are you to have these things? Why would you be able to do this and not other people? Again, that's too much to ask for. Look at all the inequality around the world. Why should you get that? Blah, 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 so on and so forth. And if you were to pay attention to reality and turn on the news right now, obviously you see a couple of wars happening in other parts of the world, and terrible inflation, and people's wages don't match the lifestyles we have to upkeep, even at bare minimum. So if I was to pay attention to reality, well, it would be very sad and depressing and awful. And I used to just not pay attention to that. It's been very hard ever since 2020 to not pay attention to that. And then when I don't pay attention to it, I feel guilty, even though I do not want to pay attention to it because I don't think it makes any difference. It doesn't mean I don't care about what's going on in the world. It doesn't mean I won't try and do whatever I can to assist other people when I can. But what I would like to believe, and what I used to believe was true, is that if I just cultivate what's going on in here, there will be a ripple effect. And manifesting isn't about just being completely like superficial, and like, although it can be, and why can't it be? See, this is where all of my conflict is, and I don't even know if I'm making any sense, but I'm just grappling with this now. That kind of resistance is coming up very strong. What I had always learned to be true is this: there's plenty to go around. There's more abundance than any of us could ever imagine to go around. And everyone can do this. And everyone can get the things they want. But we live in such a resistant society, and in a place where these negative thoughts come in hard and fast, and limiting beliefs are there and present and reinforced and hammered home, and people can't even reach for anything else. So then I think, well, if I'm in such a privileged position to be able to reach for those things, I owe it to myself, and I owe it to everybody else, because we're all the same energy. I owe it to that to cultivate it and work on it and distribute it and put it out there and blah, blah, blah. And at the same time, also not even worry about any of that. Just let it all go. So when you get into this overthinking mode, like I am, this is not helpful. We have to surrender. I have to surrender. I've had moments of surrender throughout my entire life where all of a sudden, all of this just goes like, and it just gets sucked away, and the clear message comes through. I mean, that's why I'm even doing this activity to begin with. But of course, I'm about a third of the way through, and this comes up, this resistance comes up, and it's just meant to be here and exist and be part of the work. And I don't even think I have any like sound advice to work through it other than notice it. Try not to let it bog you down. Don't indulge the thoughts. Remember that the universe knows everything you want and desire. It already knows. You don't need to ask for it 1,000 times. What you actually have to work on is letting go. And I still struggle with like, what does letting go actually mean? Abraham Hicks, that whole thing that I used to talk a lot about, I have stopped listening to it as religiously as I used to, because I was getting very Delulu, and then I was thinking that was a bad thing, except I'm supposed to be in Delulu mode right now, and I'm still having resistance. But what they would say, do something that brings you joy. Do something that's easy. Do something that's fun. Forget about what you're supposed to do. Forget about your to-do list, blah, blah, blah. Just what can you do right now in this moment to inch closer and closer and closer to gratitude and happiness and joy and ease and love and empathy and all these things. Like, I just ran out of words, but one should be able to continue saying all these things. That's the place I would like to get to. Okay, so this isn't coming out as clear as I wanted it to, but I just wanted to mention that I am having resistance. It's what I'm feeling, it's what I'm experiencing, so I guess it's not that clear. When I have the clear thing, I'll share it with you. But now, my friend Jeffrey did give me a good tip, and actually I got another good tip from someone. Well, actually I can't check because it's on my Instagram and I'm recording on my phone. But Jeffrey said, go back and listen to yourself. Like, I am on at least a dozen podcasts talking about this stuff in super like clear, concise sound bites. So I'm gonna go back and listen to myself. If I can hear myself in that vibration that I've been in before and I can get to again, it will help me get closer to it. Also, I couldn't think of something to post on day 9, and I got a DM from somebody. They said, why not get more into the details? So of the things I've already posted, like my house and these trips and roller skating as a hobby, etc., why don't I actually just post again, but with more detail, more description? This person was saying they made a Pinterest board of everything they're gonna buy, like the shopping list of like the furnishings, the plates, the glasses, the towels, the linens, like all the things in the house. And I think that's a wonderful idea. I wish I thought of it. I did talk about how detail is important, and I myself must follow my own advice. So I'm gonna get more into detail. And it's funny because I knew 30 days of posting was gonna be a little bit challenging and overwhelming, because I keep thinking, oh, I have to think of 30 separate things I want, but I don't. Maybe I only want like 5 big things, and I can just get deeper into those 5 things. And one of the resistive thoughts I'm getting, again, is you shouldn't have to ask for much. And this is the thing. This is why gratitude's an important part to this, because a lot of the time I actually feel like, but I have so much now. Like, I am so abundant now. My baby is healthy, like, and vibrant and wonderful. And like, sometimes I mean, a lot of the time I am just like, I don't actually need more. Like, everything's amazing as it is. I am so grateful for my health, like where I live, the actual physical place that I'm living in. And of course, it could be improved in the Delulu world, in the world where I have exactly what I want and I think I'll be happier by having it, but maybe I wouldn't. Maybe it would be more overwhelming. That's not to say you don't actually want the things you want. You do. It's just you're coming up against sticky stuff and resistance because of self-worth issues and all this type of stuff. So just know that it's all normal. I mean, that's all I can say. This is a normal part of the work in the process. So if you're having a hard time, I hope this helped a little bit to know that obviously you're not alone, that we're all inevitably going to come up against this stuff and have a hard time with it. And it's just practice, you know, it's only practice that makes it get easier and easier to work through the challenges. When I say I was in like a darker, stickier, more complicated, messy place, and am working through that, I'm in the process of like the shedding of my skin now and the transformation now. I think I can handle it with a little bit more fortitude or something, because I've done this so many times, and perhaps a lot of you are younger than me and you haven't lived as long, so you haven't had to do as many transformations or whatever it might be. So it's like, just know that like I have practiced this a lot, and I have also stopped, and that's why I want to get back into it. But if you're newer to this, don't beat yourself up about feeling confused and whatever. A lot of this comes down to trust. And I mean, trust is letting go, right? That's what that is. It's like letting go is trusting. Letting go is surrendering. Letting go is breathing. Letting go is not worrying. Letting go is gratitude. That is a tool to letting go. So if you can do those things through writing, whatever, they will help you. I'm going to go and I'm going to work on today's post, and I'm going to listen to myself in these interviews that I have done in the past and take my own advice and listen to my own higher self talking to me. Thanks for listening, and I hope you're enjoying this content and following along with 30 Days of Delulu. And if you're not too late to start. Okay, subscribe, like, follow me on Instagram. I'm posting on @LaurenToyota and @Hot4Food, and on TikTok and on YouTube Shorts, which you may have noticed. I'm just reposting the same post everywhere. Okay, love you all. Bye.